For more great content, make sure you follow 717 Sports Media on all your podcast listening platforms. Also follow us on social media, on Twitter at 717_sports, Facebook and Instagram at 717 Sports Media. We're also checking on our website daily for your daily news and sports videos at 717sportsmedia.com.
All right, everybody, back with another edition of Around the 717. My name is Carl Frederick, and I am very pleased to bring our special guest here, Milford's own Adam Battersby. Battersby, did I get it right?
Battersby, yes, you got it right.
How you doing, sir?
I'm good. How about yourself?
Good. I'm, speaking with you, speaking with Kara, your associate, your coworker.
Yeah.
You have a great message that we wanted to get on our podcast. So, tell us, Adam, first about your background overall with baseball and what the message you're trying to get across with your company.
Yeah, so my background was I was a baseball player growing up. I got all the way up to college. Basically, I didn't play my senior year in high school because I had an injury. I ended up going to Providence College. I tried out as a walk-on. The coach said, I carry 4 catchers. 2 are better than you, 2 about the same. I don't know if it was BS or not. It ended up they dropped the program for Title IX the next year. So who knows if he was even looking or not. So who knows? It turns out I had a great time in college without baseball, so it's all good. But basically, the background is growing up, we had a batting cage in our backyard. It was a 2-wheel jugs machine. Anytime you went from a fastball to a curveball, you adjust the dials, you got to tilt the machine, and basically you knew that what pitch was coming. You didn't know, you knew it was coming. And as you test the pitches, you don't learn how to hit the different pitches. You learn just where to put the baseball bat. So as a result, I could hit the fastball all day long. The curveball always gave me problems. So, and any breaking pitch didn't really give me problems. So basically my dad said, you know what? My dad started the company. He had an engineering background. So he said, you know what? Let's come up with a programmable pitch machine where you don't know what's coming. You got to basically read the pitch, read the spin type. And we took it one step further and put the video screen in front of it. So basically the video screen shows a real live pitcher winding up before the ball comes out of a hole. So it's really the closest thing to real life batting practice you can get. And that's basically the driving force what started ProBatter Sports.
That's great. Okay. So your whole it sounds like a lot of kids could use that because there is what's that movie with Clint Eastwood, Trouble with the Curve or whatever?
Yes.
So that's a legit thing. That wasn't just a made up thing. That movie they did. I didn't realize how many people have trouble with the curve. So that's
yeah.
So that was your whole goal. Was like it was such a pain and hitting the curveball. Yep. So you wanted to get better adjusters. How's the name? Tell me about what's the name of your company and what the overall message? Tell me more about that.
Yeah. So the name of the company is ProBatter Sports. We're out of Milford, Connecticut. And basically what we do, we make video pitching machines for baseball, softball, and cricket. So all of our machines, like I said, have a big video screen in front of it showing the windup of the pitcher before the ball comes out. And also we have conversion kits for other manufacturers' machines. And then we also have our own 3-wheel pitching machine, which is controlled by a big color touchscreen. So you get 10 different pitches, any speed from 40 to 100 miles an hour to any location. So it's all the pitches are right on. The breaks and curves are as realistic as you can get. Just we think it's the best training tool in the market.
That's great.
Yeah.
And then what's you have numbers like the success rate? What's the success rate been like with this new creation you guys had or this new?
It's like 1,000% easy.
Yes.
It's pretty high. Basically, we believe we're the best pitch machine in the market. Of course, we want to be doing it if we didn't believe that. But with our machine, it's the closest thing to real live batting practice. So a lot of the pitch machines, you raise the ball up, put in the machine. Sometimes it goes through smoothly. Sometimes it doesn't. It's hard to time it. So basically, sometimes a lot of people don't like pitching machines. But with our pitching machine, it's really it's like a game. It's like a real live guy throwing the ball to you. And also it's pinpoint accurate. So you have no wasted pitches, no balls in the dirt unless you want it. It's everything it should be, basically.
You control the speed when this pitching machine
yes.
it could be you could be facing like a Randy Johnson 90 plus mile-per-hour fastball.
Yeah, so the pitching machine that we use is a 3-wheel pitching machine. So all the different, wheels spin at different rates, and it goes up to 100 miles an hour. So basically, whatever pitch a major leaguer can throw, we can throw. The only thing that we don't throw is a knuckleball, rather, because knuckleball just kind of waffles all over, and it's a little bit hard to control. And when we control it, we can throw exactly where we want to throw it.
So even the changeup and the slider.
Yeah. Yep.
Wow.
Yep. The slider's nasty.
Yeah, that's what I was just gonna ask. Is that the hardest? Was that like in terms of like the adjustments people have to make with this machine? Is that the hardest pitch to adjust to?
They're all pretty tough, to be honest. I mean, we sat down with all major league, some players, some coaches, college players, and basically that's how we created our database. And some of those pitches, I mean, they're filthy. I mean, they got a lot of spin to them, a lot of break.
Yeah, and now with the pitches, is there a certain like a pitcher maybe from the previous era or our current era that you would say has a perfect model that you like base your machines off of?
I think nowadays most pitchers are I mean, their mechanics, their spin rate and all that stuff. I mean, now, we're in a day where all the analytics you can get, with spin rates, exit velocities, all that stuff. So you can really pinpoint, the good pitchers out there, and they're all pretty good, which is why it's hard to hit the curveball. So that's why you need our machine.
That's cool. Do you now, and we were talking about this off air, you have locations up and down the East Coast or across the country, or where are machines or everything located?
Yeah, we've been around for almost 25 years now. So we have machines all over the world, actually. We have all over the U.S., and we started selling cricket machines. So we have them in, Dubai, Australia, New Zealand, the UK. They're all over. And also we have baseball machines down in Latin America, Canada, U.S. But like we mentioned before, we do have 4 machines. They're Iron Mike conversions at the Round 1 amusement and bowling and in Lancaster. So those machines, you won't get the curveballs and the breaking pitches, but they still throw the fastballs with the video screen, so you can go and have a good time and see what we can offer. Okay.
And like we talked the one at Round 1. That's for like, because we talked about I have 2 children, you have three kids, and I'm take my kids something like that. But this is something like a high school player could use, though, correct? Or even an adult.
Yeah. They're not too fast, the machines. They're basically meant for the everyday player. So a kid or an adult could use it. I'm not quite sure the speeds. Usually, what they do, because they have 4 machines, they'll put one slower, one kind of slow medium, one medium fast, and one faster, just so it can hit all different speed ranges.
Okay. And now, do you have like any success, like pitchers or baseball players, I guess in general, that have come back and like co-signed on this, and like has it improved their success? Do you have any success stories you wanted to share?
Yeah, a long time ago, actually, not a long time ago, but one of our first major league customers was Trot Nixon, and Trot Nixon
for the Red Sox.
For the Red Sox, yep. He comes out of our office with his father, and he hit against the machine. And basically, what he was saying was that right-hand pitches, he was smoking, but the left-hand pitches, he wasn't hitting as well. So what he wanted to do was he wanted to buy a machine. He ended up putting in his buddy's batting cage down in Wilmington, North Carolina, and basically all off season he just hit off lefties and righties and started to really crank the ball again. And that's when he had one of his better seasons. Was it because of our machine? I'm gonna say yes.
Yeah, come on, you got it. This is your time. It was your machine. Yeah.
Then he ended up signing a bigger contract. We also had John Buck, the old catcher for the Mets, was Royals, Mets, and then Marlins.
Okay.
Yep, he had a great year with the Mets. Started off real hot one year. I think he had like 10 home runs in the first month or whatever. When he signed one of his contracts, he bought our machine for his house. And same thing, helped him. Helped him develop, helped him off-season train and get some good reps in. Sometimes in the off-season, these players, they don't have someone that can throw the ball to them.
Yeah.
If they do, it's an older coach with those meatballs. With our machine, you get really game-like at bats, so they're good to train against in the off-season.
Yeah, that's what I was just gonna say. Do like schools ever contact you about purchasing machines? It seems like it'd be a great training.
Yeah. We sell to high schools and colleges. So. A couple of years ago, we had the #1 D1 program at University of Florida and the #1 D2 program at Angelo State. And both schools were repeat customers. They bought a machine and they came back and buy more.
Oh,
And then
okay,
also,
okay.
yeah, high schools were actually selling to a lot more too, because this newer model PX3 came down quite a bit in price. So now they're able to buy it either by donations or booster club or just, just through the school, which is pretty cool too.
Very cool, very cool. So you
Yeah.
gotta go back to Trot Nixon. Where was his? He started with the Red Sox, right? Or did he get a big contract somewhere else?
I'm
I'm
pretty
trying.
sure he's with the Red Sox for a while because that's when they were real hot.
Okay,
Yeah, that's when the Yankee Red Sox rival was a lot of
was
fun
at
to
his
watch.
apex, right?
Yeah, it was awesome. It was so much fun.
That's really cool. That's a great example of show off. Now, being in Connecticut, are you a Red Sox fan? I'm assuming.
It's funny. I grew up in Long Island, born Long Island. I was born a Giants, New York Giants, and Mets fan. Did a complete switch to Jets to the Yankees.
So you switched. How do you
Completely.
do? Like people
So,
still let you come back to New York after trading sides?
well, it's funny. So one of my neighbors growing up was Randy Rasmussen. So he was on the Jets,
Oh
Super
yeah.
Bowl 3. Yep. And so his son and me and his son were good friends. So that's why I kind of became a Jets fan. And to be truthful, the Yankees bought one machine and they came back by 5 machines. So they spent about $250,000 with us. So they sold me, man.
At least you're honest.
Yeah, they sold me. Plus, you know what? I mean, the Mets
I'd
are
be
fun.
guilty too.
Yeah, the Mets are fun to watch, but they got some. I don't know. It's hard to be a Mets fan.
I'm a can't wait to there's a lot of, even in Pennsylvania there's a lot of Yankees and Mets fans. I'm a big Phillies fan. Full disclosure. So I love watching the Mets misery. So you saying that you jumped ship makes this even better. That is so funny. The Mets just can't get out of their own way. They have this new owner and they still can't get out of their own way.
Yeah. I saw a stat the other day that I think they had the least number of draft picks make it to the major leagues. So you can't develop a program like that.
That's well said. I didn't even realize that because I know the last since the Phillies came off their apex run with Hamels and Holiday and those guys, they for until last year they were really struggling, as you know, to rebuild. Yeah. And I was always like hammering them like, why can't we develop guys? Why can't we? I'm saying we, like I'm a part of the Phillies, but like I'm like, what was like the Phillies issue? I felt like for a long time is after like guys like Rollins and Hamels kind of reached their apex, they weren't replacing them. They didn't draft well. Let's be real. I think that the new ownership knows that too. And now they seem to have their minor league system with Dombrowski, their old Red Sox guy. They seem to have that turned around. I didn't realize that about the Mets. So it's not only that they have a bloated payroll with guys not working out in the majors. You're saying their minor league system is in rough shape too.
That's what I heard. That's a stat. I mean, I don't know the backing of it, but that's what I read. But also, I think they have like $50 million of payroll for players not even playing, like Bonilla.
Yeah, they still pay Bobby Bonilla, man. That's like Holiday.
It's like 10 other guys too. It's crazy.
How does that work? Like, how do players get contracts like that?
It's smart. That's what I would do.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's smart and dumb, but I mean, if you get a check for $50 million, you're gonna spend it. If you get $2 million a year for 25 years, it helps control you. So these guys need control sometimes.
What's now? You have three kids of your own. Are they all playing baseball right now, or?
So my 3 kids are 6, 5, and 2. So
they're younger than mine. Okay.
Yep. My son today my son today just came back from baseball camp. He had a real rough first season. He had half his team left. He moved out of state. One kid got hit in the head with a baseball bat, needs 16 stitches. So my son was like, man,
bless his heart.
Yeah. He's like, this is awful. Like, this is baseball. I'm out. So it took me 7 months to convince the kid to play again. I said, listen, I was like, I'll coach your team with one of my buddies. He knows my buddy. He came back awesome. I mean, he was smoking the ball, hitting the ball real far. He did great. So now he absolutely loves it. He can't get enough of it, which is so great to watch.
This is your 6-year-old?
My 6-year-old, yeah. I have an older son, and then 2 young daughters.
Okay.
And then my middle daughter's 5. I coach her for softball. She's a short attention span, so she liked it.
5.
Yeah, she liked it a couple of times. I looked over. She's making dirt angels in the infield, on her back.
So I'm not laughing about the dirt. I have a 9 and a 6-year-old. My 6-year-old son is the same way. He just got finished with flag football, and he seemed more. I mean, he cared more about dancing on the field than he had actually carrying the football. So that's funny you say that.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. I had fun coaching them. We'll see what happens.
Okay.
Yeah.
What now? Because you and Kara talked about it. I mean, baseball it was America's #1 sport. That was for
Yeah.
me growing up, and that it's like football, basketball. You can even maybe make an argument for things like golf and NASCAR. I mean, if you want to consider those sports, have passed it. And I find that hard to believe, but the numbers don't lie. Now, what is your message to kids in terms of playing baseball early on? What message would you give them? I mean, you clearly had your own thoughts here with this pitching machine, which I think is great. But like kids growing up now, what message would you give them about encouraging them to play baseball?
I would say, whether it be baseball or any sport, just do something. You can't sit at home, and do nothing. You got to get out. And that's part of the reason I got my kids involved in sports, because whatever sport it is, you build friendships, you compete in the field, you just share stories, you have fun, you get off your butt, basically. You do something with your life. You just don't sit around and watch TV, and eat all day long. I mean, you got to do something, and it's rewarding too. I mean, it's the life lessons I learned in sports, all sports have been great. I mean, wrestling, I think, was the #1 sport I learned a lot of lessons with it, because basically, like, if you lose in a wrestling match, it's essentially losing in a fight. So you want to come back stronger, tougher, train harder, and be better, and just because you don't want to be in that position. You don't want to lose. And baseball is kind of similar. That you got to just get out there and play a sport, and when you play, just give it all you got. I mean, I see videos of me training back in the day. My dad had recorded me swinging, and I was kind of half-assing and all that stuff. And if I had to do it again, I mean, I would train a lot harder. I mean, I don't know if I would become a professional player, but I would have trained a lot harder. I mean, maybe I would have a scholarship. I mean, maybe other things could have happened. But regardless, I had fun. Even though I didn't get the majors or top D1 program, I had a lot of fun doing it. So I can't really look back and complain.
And I mean, it seems like you like sports in general, but you're a baseball guy through and through, though.
Yeah,
that's in terms of Adam, that's your #1 sport. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, in high school, I did football, wrestling, baseball. Football, I played a lot of fall ball. So football, I like, but I didn't really get into it as fully. I enjoy watching it. The New York Jets. Let's see if this year we change it
Hard
around.
Knocks, man. They're going to be on Hard Knocks.
Yeah, I saw. I can't wait.
Yeah, I wonder how that's going to go. Now we're kind of changing topics, but I wonder. So as a Jets fan, I can only imagine you guys landing Aaron Rodgers. Was that?
Yes.
Is that like the biggest victory since Joe Namath Super Bowl guarantee for you guys, or what was that like when you knew you guys got Aaron Rodgers?
Well, after watching Zach Wilson last year and all the quarterback issues, anyone would have been better. Anyone would have been better. So we're all pretty pumped. Whether it's a good contract, whether it work out, we will see. But it can't be any worse than the past decade.
And it really seemed like watching them as a diehard Eagles fan, but watching the Jets whenever they're on prime time or I got the connection down here, a lot of teams could say, oh, they're a QB away from being legit. But it really does seem that way with the Jets. They have all the pieces. I like Saleh as the coach. He seems to be getting a good message across. I just watching them last year. Blondie Zach Wilson, would seem too worried about chasing his mom's friends than he was throwing touchdown passes.
Can you blame him?
Yeah, I'm glad you came on. I'm glad.
Yeah. We'll see what happens. They'll be exciting. They have young talent. So we'll see. But it'll be exciting.
Okay. That's so funny. You switched from the Giants to the Jets and the Mets to the Yankees. Is that correct?
Yes. Yep.
Have you been to the Yankees' new stadium yet?
I have. We actually installed a machine back there years ago. Yeah. So it's and actually I took my son to his first baseball game there this past summer. So we had a lot of fun there. A ton of fun. They played the Padres, so it was a lot of big name players, and it was a cool game to go to.
You believe now? I know with the Yankees this season, with Aaron Judge being hurt, obviously that makes a huge difference. Do you believe I was listening to a podcast on Barstool Sports, and they were saying that their belief that's ever since they went to this new stadium that there's a jinx about the Philly Phillies winning our curse, or the Yankees winning another World Series. Do you believe any of that, or is it just fortunate of bad luck?
I don't believe it. I mean, you've had some really good teams play lately. The Astros. I'm not a big Astros fan, but they've been playing lights out baseball the past couple of years. So they're tough to beat. And actually, that's the stat I read is they had year after year very good draft picks as well. So I think they're a good team. Yankees are a good team too, but I think they've had some injuries. They've had some pitching issues, here and there. But they'll get back there. The Yankees, they'll get back there.
Yeah, I like as an outsider, I was listening to that podcast. I didn't really think about it. I mean, I've just been in the notion. So I know this firsthand because the Astros kind of kicked our butts last year in the World Series. And as much as I despise them, the Astros, they've been awesome. That's what it's not like the Yankees have underachieved. They were pretty good. It's just the Astros are on this ring of talent. How they got there is another thing we can debate another time with the cheating scandals that they essentially got.
They came back and they did real well after the whole scandal. As much as I'm the same boat as you, as much as I can't stand them. I mean, they proved themselves this past year.
You're right, man. They kicked. I really thought, because I love the Phillies, but they were playing on house money. They had no business being in there. But when we got up 2-1, I'm like, holy cow!
Yeah,
I'm going to be in Broad Street celebrating this parade. That's what I thought. And then the next night, the Astros come out and no hit us, and they were the better team. I'm not going to come out and say we should have won that series, but you're right, man. They've with all that cheating scandal, which could have lasted a lot. Sometimes teams or schools don't get over these scandals for a long time. Like I'm looking back to SMU and their whole scandal. It took them decades, but the fact that the Astros were back in the World Series and won the whole thing a couple years later after this says a lot about them, honestly.
Yeah. And this year you have the Rays and the Braves that are just. And now the Reds are playing well.
Yeah, so the Reds, that De La Cruz player, he's fun to watch, isn't he?
He's incredible, yeah.
Yeah.
He's still second, third, and home.
He's awesome. I mean, I hope they win that division. I just want the Reds to be in the playoffs just so I can watch him play more, honestly.
Exactly, yeah. Well, it'd be a lot of fun.
Now, back to your company.
Yep.
I understand you've recently partnered with ECCMMS. What is that? Tell me more about that. I got the email from Kara about that. What's the connection there?
Yeah, so basically that's the largest contract manufacturer in the world. They're Foxconn or ECMMS, and what they do is they actually manufacture the iPhone, the iPad, all the Apple products. So, I mean, they're huge. So the first 20 years of business, we always manufactured our machine in-house. We would outsource some things, cabinets, electrical work. And then lately we went to another manufacturer who just didn't really work out. So he switched gears to Foxconn, which I think it's a game changer for us because not only can I just worry about selling and marketing, getting the word out there instead of worrying about, waiting for trucks to come and helping out manufacturing and, make sure, that part's all set. I can focus on growing the business. So it's exciting stuff. It's really exciting stuff.
What is the growth rate over on a year-by-year basis with your company? What would you say in terms of, has it been a positive growth rate, broken even, like a negative rate? Like what's the growth rate been with your company in these machines, I should say?
Well, I would say the past couple of years, it's shot right up because during COVID, I couldn't sell. Because during COVID, all the gyms are closed down, training centers are closed down, Major League Baseball, colleges. So that was a little tough. We had to get through that, and then part supplies was tough. But it's a growing company, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So I guess what's the next? So your company is booming right now. You got the great message across. What's the next step? Besides growth, that's an easy answer. What's the next step in terms of you and your company?
Yeah, we've always talked about looking into other sports. Actually, the other day I had a conversation with someone about tennis, maybe. Kind of explore that, maybe. We'll see. This new machine is smaller, so maybe we could do stuff more with portable stuff. For example, this high school in Minnesota got a grant from the Twins to buy a machine. So they got the machine, but they put it in a gymnasium, which is a shared location. So after every time they use it, they had to move it out of the way to put on wheels. So maybe if we put on wheels or figure out something like that, then we could, hit bigger markets, like more high schools, because high school is a huge market. But just kind of grow it, maybe explore other sports, add to the product. You always got to add to the product, make it better, make it more appealing, make it more fun, I guess, So we got to explore stuff like that.
That's very cool, man. Now we talked about this a little earlier with your machines being at the round. Are they at the round ones like everywhere, or just a few locations?
Yeah. So round one is a huge business, and we actually just closed every location that we're in. They buy 4 of our machines, and I think this week we just closed on the 5th location. So, but they have like above 20 locations throughout the U.S. And I think it's an Asian company, if I'm not mistaken, too. So they probably
what would you say to kids? Because obviously you don't want. I take my kids to round one all the time, and they love it. But I don't want them. I always, tell them let's have fun, but don't be if you get ripped off in a game. Not saying you would get ripped off in your game, but like if they're playing the claw machine or something like that, I'm telling you, don't get upset. You're here to have fun. Obviously you don't want kids destroying your machine, but like, is there a message you would want to get? Because a lot of people go to round one in Lancaster. So I can get this message across. What's something you'd want to tell about your machine, your product that our viewers may not know?
Well, those machines, those are just straight fastballs. So I think the only message is just go and have fun with them, and just go have fun, hit some balls, and work on your swing, work on hitting the ball, further. And I always tell my son, it's all about hitting bombs. Just go and try to hit a bomb.
And that's the cool. Chicks dig the long ball, don't they? And is that still a thing?
That's how you have fun. You hit the bombs,
That's awesome, Adam. That is great. So, we're a big fan of your company, what you're trying to do, and your message. You're trying to make baseball, which personally, full disclosure, I love baseball, and I was hoping to have my one of our writers on, who's our main baseball writer, Colin Richardson, on. I'm going to play him this playback for what you're trying to accomplish here and what the success you've had. We really appreciate it, man. This is great what you're doing.
Yeah, well, thanks for having us. And if anyone needs any information on our machines, our website is ProBatter.com. And again, the company's ProBatter Sports, and we're out of Connecticut.
You heard him here, folks. Adam Battersby. He's the president, CEO, the owner. Are you the owner of this company, or what's your main role?
President, me and my dad are owners, so yeah.
You guys own it. So president, CEO, he's in charge of it. ProBatter Sports, check it out. It's in round one and 20 locations nationwide. High school should be checking this out. I don't know if you know this, Adam, but Lancaster 11 League Baseball, I'm the best going in Pennsylvania.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it
Nice.
really is. I mean, I'm not saying this because we get a lot of listeners from there, but it's great. It's really good baseball. They're sending kids every year, not just the Division I schools, but good Division II programs.
Nice.
And that's what Colin, one of our young writers, his message is, kind of similar to yours. He doesn't he's not creating his own cool machine, but he's trying to get more recognition for local guys here in the 717 area, the area code for baseball, because it's good baseball, man, and he loves it just as much as you do.
Yeah. Well, good. That all sounds good.
Awesome, man. Well, thanks again for coming on around the 717. Check out his company. Check out his machines. They're everywhere, including our run. ProBatter. Machine's called ProBatter, correct?
Yeah, the ProBatter video pitching machine. Yep.
ProBatter video pitching machine. Check it out at round one. They opened up a location in Park City, I believe about 4 or 5 months ago. More information on his company is on the website, ProBatterSports.com.
ProBatter.com. Yep, ProBatter.com.
I got that mixed up because ours is 717sports.com. That's where I had to mix up there. Okay, awesome, man. Well, any last messages or any advice you want to give the high school kids playing baseball right now?
Just stick with it. Just keep on playing. Everyone has a bad day, but you know what? You got to just keep on training. You got to keep on working at it and have fun with it. Just work hard and have fun, and the success will come.
All right, well said, Adam. Well, thanks again for taking the time, man. We're gonna plug ProBatter Sports and ProBatter, and we're gonna plug that machine, and we're gonna have kids out there, and we'll have to have you on again when Colin's on, available to talk, so you guys can chop it up about how much the Yankees are going to choke again.
We'll see.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thanks again for joining us, Adam.
Yeah, thanks for having us. Take care.
All right.
All right.
For more great content, make sure you follow 717 Sports Media on all your podcast listening platforms. Also follow us on social media, on Twitter at 717_sports, Facebook and Instagram at 717 Sports Media. We're also checking on our website daily for your daily news and sports videos at 717sportsmedia.com.